Welcome back, everyone. When we think about power, whether that's like literal electricity or even spiritual empowerment, we usually, we picture plugging into an outlet, right? We look for a source outside of ourselves.
Right, exactly. We just naturally expect to draw that energy from, well, somewhere else.
Exactly. But today, we are unpacking a totally different and honestly paradigm-shifting idea from an excerpt we have. It's from the May 6th edition of the daily devotional Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating text to dig into.
It really is. We are looking at this purely from a theological angle to ask, what if divine power doesn't actually drop from the sky at all?
Right, and that is a massive pivot because, historically, a lot of believers operate on this assumption that empowerment is, well, it's this external force you just have to wait around for.
And that waiting, it often stems from how people misinterpret their own experiences. The text points out that individuals frequently describe feeling God's power come upon them, quote, like a jacket.
Right, the whole jacket analogy,
Yeah, it feels to them like something literally physically landed on their shoulders.
which, makes total sense psychologically.
Oh, for sure.
If you experience this sudden, overwhelming sensation that you can't logically explain, your brain just naturally assumes it must have come from the outside. But the underlying theology here argues the exact opposite.
Right. So it's kind of like the difference between being caught in a sudden rainstorm, an event that just happens to you, versus having a constantly running, built-in internal generator.
I love that analogy. Yes,
Huh.
exactly. And the fuel for that generator, it isn't something you catch in the rain. It's already in the tank.
Right.
The text actually uses some specific scriptural anchors for this,
Mm.
specifically Ephesians 1.19 and 3.20.
Yeah.
And the emphasis there is entirely on an exceeding mighty power that actively works within the believer,
Within. Yeah.
right? It's not residing up in heaven just waiting to be dispatched down to earth.
And that internal generator concept, it completely rewrites the historical timeline, doesn't it? Like in the Old Testament, you see these figures receiving power from the outside for specific moments.
Yeah, like a temporary situational empowerment.
Exactly. But the New Testament paradigm flips that script entirely, right? Believers are filled from within.
They are. And the text cites Romans 8.11 to make a really bold claim about this. It says the internal spirit residing in a believer is the exact same one that raised Jesus from the dead.
Wow. Wait, really?
Yeah, and the mechanism here is crucial. It's not just some nice spiritual metaphor. This spirit is said to actively invigorate what the text calls the death-doomed mortal body.
Wait, let's actually pause on that phrase for a second. Death-doomed mortal body.
Yeah, it's a heavy phrase.
It sounds super intense. What does that actually mean in practice?
Well, it refers to basic human biology. By default, our physical bodies are subject to decay, exhaustion, sickness. They're, biologically doomed to eventually fail.
Right, that makes sense.
But the argument here is that this internal spirit overrides that default setting. It injects literal, life-giving energy into a failing physical vessel, basically changing a person's physical reality from the inside out.
Okay, so I have to ask the critical question here. If this incredibly potent power is already permanently installed inside you, why are so many people still crying out and like begging for it to come down? What's the disconnect?
That is the million-dollar question. And the text answer isn't that they need more power. It's actually that they lack the right consciousness.
Oh, I see. So they have the generator, but they just don't realize they hold the switch.
Exactly. It's a total shift in awareness. Once you realize you are already a permanent carrier of divine power, it completely rewrites your psychology.
Because you stopped waiting for the rainstorm to hit.
Right. You move from a passive, external locus of control to an active, internal one. You basically stop begging for what you already possess.
Because begging implies absence, right? If you know you have it, your confidence just skyrockets. Your whole prayer life fundamentally changes from asking to actualizing.
Precisely. By living from that conscious standpoint, you aren't trying to attract the supernatural anymore. You are simply allowing what's already inside to manifest consistently.
It really is a fundamental pivot, isn't it? Moving from seeking external validation to activating an internal reality. You stop looking upward, waiting for a drop of power, and start recognizing the profound capacity you already carry.
It completely changes the entire posture of how a person navigates the world.
Which brings up a really fascinating thought to leave you with today as we wrap up. If this life-giving internal generator is truly as constant and powerful as this text claims, Well, how might tapping into that specific consciousness change how you approach things?
Yeah, that's a great question to ponder.
Right, and not just the massive life-altering crises, but your most mundane, everyday frustrations. It's definitely something to think about the next time you find yourself waiting for the rain.
We trust you were blessed by this episode. To gain unlimited access to Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris, please download the Rhapsody app using the link myapp.rhapsodyofrealities.org. God bless you.